For the second time in 3 months, the Kansas City Open is in Lawrence, Kansas, the home of the KU Jayhawks, Rock Chalk. And here at Royal Crest Lanes, the tension runs high as youth bowlers and parents alike await word over the PA from KCO board member Eric Maxwell, who has made the cut and will advance to the stepladder finals.
All right, KCO bowlers, thank you for coming out today. We want to thank Royal Crest Lanes for hosting today's event.
Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. Prodigy Bowlers Tour welcomes you to episode 137, the 2023 Kansas City Open January Points Tournament, Division II Championship Round. Today, 5 finalists will compete in a series of head-to-head handicap matches where the winner will keep advancing as long as they keep winning. In our opening match, the number 5 seed, Austin Wallace Fish of Rushville, Missouri, will meet the number 4 qualifier, Dylan Pollard of Lee Summit, Missouri. The winner of that opening match will face our number 3 qualifier, Zachariah Gunby of Gardner, Kansas. The survivor of that match will face the number 2 qualifier, Kayla Hedges of Independence, Missouri. And the winner of that match will bowl for the championship today against our tournament leader, Emily Wagner of St. Charles, Missouri, who bowled an 806 in her opening block of qualifying this morning. And that's our field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Royal Crest Lanes has been all abuzz since early this morning when 18-year-old Emily Wagner of St. Charles, Missouri, clear on the other side of the state of Missouri from Kansas City, making her first appearance in a Kansas City Open, did the unthinkable. This 18-year-old girl, who had never even bowled a 700 series in her life, began the day with a 279, then backed that up with a 268 and 259 for an 806 series right out of the gate this morning. Those are scratch scores. According to her dad, Emily's previous high series had been 656. So as you might imagine, her 806 was the talk of the bowling center. Of course, Divisions 2 through 5 all bowl with handicap, 90% of the difference between a player's average and the top of their division. In this case, Division 2, that's 199. Emily's average is 199, so she was getting no pins. But as you can plainly see, she didn't need them. Emily opened up a big lead after that 806 this morning, with Dylan Pollard, her nearest pursuer, 77 pins back. But then in the afternoon session, while Emily cooled off and rode the momentum she had from the early block to qualify in the number 1 position, Kayla Hedges made a huge move, closing with scratch games of 247, 275, and 235, which along with her handicap pins, vaulted her all the way up the leaderboard from 6th to 2nd. And keep your eyes on Kiera Gonzalez. She caught fire for a while in the afternoon block, but just couldn't quite push it all the way up the hill to get to the stepladder finals. She and her sister Layla, the Bowling Gonzalez sisters, as I call them, are going to make the show one of these days, and you're going to see just how good they are. But today we've got 3 boys and 2 girls in the field, and the 2 girls are in the 1 and 2 positions, so they get to wait while the boys knock each other out. We begin with our opening match between our 5 seed Austin Wallace Fish and our 4 seed Dylan Pollard. Since Prodigy moved up here to Kansas City, Austin was one of the first kids here to tell me he'd been a fan of the show and watched us when Prodigy Bowlers Tour was based in Atlanta. And today, Dylan admitted to me that he'd been watching the show for a while as well. So we've got a couple of longtime Prodigy heads making their first appearance on the show. Hopefully, they'll both show out and let Prodigy Land see their best stuff. Austin gets 5 pins in handicap, and Dylan gets 14. So Dylan starts the match with a 9-pin lead. And as you'll see, we'll add their handicaps into their scores in the first frame. And that's the way you like to start, with a solid strike. He smacks out the 10-pin. Watch this. Two-hander over about 18 at the arrows, out to about 6 at the break point. And bingo. And he lets Austin know, I'm here to play. Austin swinging that thing way out. Now, you may recall from the last time we were here at Royal Crest Lanes in November that as the lanes break down, the farther right you throw it, the more it hooks. Watch this. He's out on about the 4th board. And in the last 15 feet of the lane, that ball hooks Brooklyn. I think these kids are going to find that if they keep the ball inside of about 10, they'll have better success and have a more controllable hook. Once again, he swings that thing out well to the right, and it comes storming back. Cuts through the nose and leaves the 3-pin. Could have been worse. Austin has won a KCO. He did it last year at Revolutions Lanes. There's a spare. And now Dylan Pollard up on the right lane. Dylan, who goes by the nickname Dill Pickle. He may live to regret telling me that. Ooh. Well, that one he sends wide, and it doesn't come back. And now he's in a bit of a pickle. Here's how you make the 1-2-10. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin. The ball will get the 2. You send the head pin over into the 10. Well, just missed on the left a little bit, so there's an open frame. And you see how we've added their handicap pins into their score in the first frame. So now you don't have to keep track of it. It'll just be reflected in their score. Short little guy, but takes the full approach. And I like that tactic. A couple of ways to generate speed when you're not very tall, and one of them is to take a long approach, get that forward momentum built up with the legs. Over about 22 at the arrows, swings that one out to about 8. I think he's going to like that spot if he stays there. High once again, and there's the rarely seen 3-11 split for a moment. Of course, the 11 will not be respotted. Just the 3. Austin says his favorite bowler is Tommy Jones. Favorite pro bowler, anyway. Easy spare. Austin lists as his high career game a 278. His high series, 708. He has had a 300 in practice. So he knows he can do it. There you go. That's what he's looking for. Take another look at that one in split screen so we can watch his reaction. He is a very deliberate player, very slow footwork, but he's almost always in perfect balance. And I think he liked that one. Dylan's in good balance too. Much lower to the line. Of course, he's built much lower to the line. Although this young man is just 12 years old, so he's giving up 4 years in age to Austin. Converts the 3-6 without much problem. And we've got a close match, just 4 pins separating these two. Dylan says he wants to grow up to be an architect or a pro bowler. I like keeping your options open. Oh! Man, how did that not strike? A stone 7. He's been in the pocket all 3 times on the left lane. And just barely gets the 7. But it's a spare. And now Austin, with a strike working, has a chance to take control in this match. And he rips the rack. Love those half pocket hits that send everything over to the 7. Watch it again. 5-step approach. Very methodical. Look at how close that ball is to his ankle. This is ideal position. He pulls up and out of that one a little bit, but gets plenty on it to blow the 7. And there's another high flush hit. Austin now with a turkey has blown this match open. He now leads by 25. Here's his footwork. I mentioned very slow, methodical footwork. I'd like to see that left foot a little more perpendicular to the foul line on the slide, but cannot argue with the results on those last 2 hits. Boy, Dylan is covering a lot of boards left to right. I think he'd find that the lanes here at Royal Crest are a little more forgiving when you play it straighter. Just bounce it off the oil line. 6-10. He covers it easily. Dylan has been consistent at the KCO. At the Youth Adult last month, he and his partner finished 16th. In November, here at Lawrence, he finished 16th. In Gladstone, in October, he finished 17th. And in Division 3, he finished 12th back in September. A little better today, though. He'll finish no worse than 5th. And another close one there on the left lane. He's been in the pocket every time. This time, a solid 4. Covers it. But he needs strikes to put on a charge because it doesn't look like Austin's going to wait for him. But he was denied there. So Austin, with a double working, can run away and hide if he gets a couple more. That time he was a little out of balance at the line. Looked like he got there and then tried to pull the ball down from the top. You got to let gravity initiate the downswing. Wait for the ball. Let it fall. Don't pull it down. That was a much more relaxed looking shot on the spare, and he converts the 3-pin. No problemo. Austin says he loves to bowl and fish. He'd like to fish for a strike right here. And he gets one. And that was a good one. Nice and relaxed. And unhurried. Tell you what, unhurried is a good way to describe Austin's game. Well, there is a limit to how far wide you can send it at Royal Crest Lanes and expect it to get back. And Dylan tested that theory there. I think he got that one out to about the 3rd board. Here's where he wants to put the ball, right on the 1-2. Send that 1-pin over into the 10. Well, this time he gets a little too much of the head pin. And that, I'm afraid, is another open, and the lead is now 41, and Dylan's running out of frames. Well, that was a better line. It didn't get out so wide, but it didn't come back and quite make the corner as he would have liked, so he leaves a weak 10. And it looks like it's just not going to be his time. Obviously, he's a good little spare shooter, but the long face tells the story. Austin is in the driver's seat, and with a strike working, he can put an end to this right here. Boom. Boy, that 7-9 went out late, didn't it? But it went out, and that's the winning shot in this match. Here it is. We always look at the shutout ball a second time. Over about 16 at the arrows. Got that one out to about 6 or 7. And it came back with authority. And you see that time he didn't get that ball near as wide as the previous one. These two lanes are not playing so differently that you would need to make that much of an adjustment. But now watch this one. This one will cross about 19 at the arrows and only gets out to about 12 at the break point. A much straighter, more controllable angle. I think if he stays in that area, he'll be very happy. And there's another one right there. And he's going to be in the 250s. Watch this again. That time over about 19 at the arrows once again. Out to about 11 or 12. Keeping that ball to the left of the 10th board, I think, is critical at this bowling center. A little thin with the fill ball, but a 9 count and a 252, thank you very much. And the dill pickle didn't know what hit him this time. But this young fellow will be back. Goes Brooklyn, and I think he's just confused. And I think when he watches this show and sees how Austin is playing the lanes, left of the 10th board, keeping that ball left of the 10th board, he will learn that the mistake he was making was just playing the lanes wrong. Change balls. That's another way to conquer a lane condition that's perplexing. Go with a different bowling ball that'll get down the lane a little bit farther before it makes its move to the left. You see, he's in perfect position at the release. The ball right below his head, his hand behind the ball. He comes straight through it. This kid's a good bowler. He's going to get better and better as he gets older and a little bigger. It's all right. A 189. It's a respectable showing, but a 252 trumps it, and Austin Wallace Fish moves on to face Zachariah Gunby next. Eight strikes by Austin Wallace Fish, and Dylan Pollard's inability to find the proper way to play the TV pair of lanes sealed Dylan's fate in match one. He's a good little bowler, and I think we'll see him many times again in the future. Dylan will learn from this experience that in a one-game match, whether it's a ball change or a change in angles on the lane, you can't wait around to make whatever change it is you think you need to make. 10 frames goes by in a big hurry, and you have to be quick on your feet and decisive in your decision-making. But he'll learn. In the meantime, Austin's victory propels him to match 2, where his next challenge is to face Zachariah Gunby. So many of the kids we've met on Prodigy since moving to Kansas City started bowling when they were just 5, 6, or 7. But these two have only been bowling a few years. Zach started when he was 14, Austin when he was 15. They've both progressed quite a ways in a very short period of time. Zach finds himself in the stepladder finals in his very first tournament, while Austin is trying to win his second KCO title. Zachariah really gives it that extra oomph at the bottom, and it hooks high, and he's left a cluster that will get most PBA players shaking their knees. The 3, 6, 9, 10. You got to be careful with this one. Oh no! Well, that could be nerves. Bowling in his first tournament, finding himself in the stepladder finals with cameras looking at him, and, well, an open frame. You see, we've added the handicap right into his score in the first frame. That's how we roll. 10 pin for Austin. This young man says he just wanted to learn how to bowl a few years ago and decided to start watching it on YouTube. That's how he discovered Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Fell in love with it. He's bowled well so far today. Wants to keep this momentum going. As I mentioned earlier, he is a very methodical, deliberate, you might even say plodding player. But when he lets it go, it usually has just the right stuff on it, like that. I've been impressed with this young fellow. What little I've watched him. That time over about 21, out to about 9 or 10. That's right about where he's going to want to stay. And Zachariah crossing over. Boy, he really gives it a lot at the bottom. A lot of effort going into that release. Take another look at it. He's in pretty good position. The ball below his head at the top of the swing. But then at the bottom, you see the distance between his left leg and the ball. The ball is to the right of his head. He falls way off balance to the right, and he doesn't let go of it until it's well past the foul line. I think there's a couple things he could work on there. Just roll that ball off your fingers. You don't have to heave it and catch it so much on the upswing. That's going to put too much stuff on it. You throw it like that, though, it'll shut me up in a big hurry. Four-step approach. Big loft on almost every shot. He's going to run into trouble with that when he finds what long oil is all about one day. Austin through the nose. We've seen the 3, 6, 9, 10 already this match. Zachariah left it in the first frame. And they're just wiggling, saying hello to him. This is where you want to put the ball. A little high on the 3-pin, enough that you'll carry out the 9, but not so high that you'd chop it. Just like that. Nicely done. That's it. Take a couple of practice swings. Here's another look at that spare. This was really nicely played. Right where you want it, on the face of the 3-pin to carry out the 9, but just far enough to the right that you catch the 6 and send it into the 10. That was textbook. He's got that left lane figured out. Watch it again. This is where we've seen him the last several shots he's thrown on lane 7. Over about the 4th arrow, out to about the 10-board tracer. That one actually got a little wider, out to about 9 or 8. Big strike for Zachariah. And he takes the lead with that strike. After a challenging start to the match, all he's done is strike ever since. He's just overpowering the lanes, just muscling the ball down there. That one not so wide, and it doesn't set like you would hope it might. And that's because he puts so much on it. 4-7 should be a routine spare for a right-hander. Down they go. All right, the action to our left on lanes 5 and 6, that's Division 5. The action to our right on lanes 9 and 10, that's Division 4. And we'll let you know how their step ladders play out when we get to the end of the show. let up on his speed just a little bit that time, and Austin gets away with one through the nose, and that 7-pin was smiling at him for a minute, but finally went out. So he has just the 3, 6, 10. He made this with the 9-pin just a moment ago. This should be a little easier. Oh, but he sends it wide, and it sails by the 3, and that's an open frame. And now Zachariah's lead grows to 18 pins. If you're in Austin's position, you just got to forget about that. And he seems to have forgotten about it. Rips the rack. Gets a strike. And now he's poised to make a dash to the finish. Over the 4th arrow. This one does not get to the right of the 10th board. In the swish zone. And a ripper. Oh, that was just high enough to be double trouble. And here's the 4-10. Here's how you make it. You put the ball on the left side of the 4-pin, slide it across the lane into the 10. We haven't had one of these made on Prodigy in a long time. We're about due, I'd say. Well, he went for it, but a little too aggressive, and that's 8 out. And now Zachariah's lead shrinks to an uncomfortable 4 pins, with Austin sitting on the bench and a strike working in the 6th. And it seems like for Zach in this match, it's all or nothing. Now he needs to do what Austin did, get right back up on the horse and ride. Well, that was closer. In the pocket, at least. Leaves the 4. Let's compare these last 2 shots that he's thrown. On the left lane, where he just left the 4-pin, the ball is just to the left of the 10-board tracer down lane. And on the right lane, it was to the right of the tracer. Wider on the lane, it hooks back harder, as you see on the right lane. And on the left, where he kept it more in the middle of the lane, it almost set for a strike. That's the normal characteristic of the lanes here at Royal Crest, at least in the time we've been here for the KCO today and back in November. I mean, it really is a testament to the old saying, straighter is greater. You gotta play it a little straighter to keep the ball controllable. Well, nearly a messenger. But the 10 remains, and he could have taken the lead with a double there, but instead, he'll have to continue playing from behind. But he makes short work of the 10-pin. Well, when you're in this situation and you're striking on one lane and can't seem to find it on the other, the trick is to not lose the lane you've got. He's struck every time on the left lane so far in this match. Needs to put another one up here. Oh, man. Well, that's not how he's been striking, but he'll take it. Watch this. This had 210 written all over it. Little wide. Just barely ticks the head pin. It's going to go to the left wall and come back and roll out the 2, while the 6 just barely blew over the 10 as it circled around it. little luck has something to do with it. And Zach says, I'm having none of that. And he buries one right in the hole. And we've got a 4-pin match. Both players with a strike up in the 8th. This could get very interesting coming down to the finish line. Big loft. He lofted that thing 10 or 11 feet out on the lane. Tell you what, when he hits heavy oil or long oil, that's going to come to a quick end. Wall shot. And he gets the double to take a 14-pin lead. Here's his footwork. I called it a 4-step delivery. It's actually 5. He takes a little tiny first step. The old Dick Weber wall shot. Head pin to the wall, taking out the 4, 5, and 7. Austin needing a double to stay close. And gets it. Well, here we are. 10th frame. Anybody's game. 4 pins separating them. Who's going to perform at the end? Watch this. This is as good as it gets. He got that one a little wider than he wanted to, but had a little extra speed on it to hold the line. It did, and down they went. And he rips the rack in the 10th, and Austin takes the lead with that ball. Oh, and he was about to sit down. He didn't even realize it was the 10th frame. That's how locked in he was. Watch this. He's back out near the 3rd arrow on that shot. The ball goes out to about 6. That's not where he's been playing this pair. But he gets a double in the 10th. Now he cannot shut out Zachariah with a strike on his 3rd ball in the 10th, but he can sure make him think. Here's that strike in the 11th over the 3rd arrow once again. Got the half pocket to carry. A little light with that last ball. A 6 count. It's not going to hurt him. He has forced Zachariah to throw 2 strikes in the 10th to beat him. Zach bowling in his first tournament ever, and he steps up in the 10th frame needing a double to continue. And he goes through the nose, and that will spell the end to Zachariah Gunby's day at the KCO. Austin has won the match, but Zach bowled well, just a couple of mistakes. He can fill it up here for 204. Can't be too disappointed with that, given that this is his first tournament ever. .201. Not bad. Not enough, but not bad. It's Austin Wallace Fish who's moving on to match 3. He'll face Kayla Hedges when we return. I love a close match, and that one came down to the 10th frame. Austin got up in the 10th, trailing by 4 pins. He threw 2 strikes to put the pressure on Zachariah. Zach needed to match Austin's double in the 10th, but his first ball went high, and that was that. When Zach watches this, hopefully he'll learn a couple of things he can work on with his game. One thing every young bowler who's new to competitive bowling must learn is how to perform in the clutch. And the best way I know to practice it is what I used to do when I was a kid, and what I used to do to the Prodigy kids when we were in Atlanta. And that's to create artificial pressure situations And just convince yourself you gotta have this next strike. When I was growing up, every time I'd get up in the 10th frame, in league or when I was just practicing, I'd tell myself I needed a double right here to break 200, or to break 180, or to win the US Open, or whatever the benchmark was. On Prodigy, I used to create quirky pressure situations like when we bowl the 7th frame sweat, or on our weird Halloween shows where a player could lose the match in any frame. He's at least got to knock down the 1 pin. Oh no! However you do it, you have to learn to embrace those moments when you've got to have a strike to continue. The more you face pressure situations, contrived or real, the more it won't seem so pressure-packed. But now it's time for Austin Wallace-Fish to take another step forward to match 3, where our 2 seed Kayla Hedges awaits. Wait until you see Kayla bowl. She has a very unorthodox style, but it works for her. She's already won a Heart of America tournament, and I expect she'll give Austin all he can handle. Kayla, being the higher qualifier, has the choice of starting lanes. She has elected to lead off. She wants to finish last. Now watch her style. Boom! It's maybe not the way we'd teach it, but watch her footwork. 1, 2, 3rd step, she lets it go, and then there's another step after that. Not exactly by the book, but the results are pretty good. Austin through the nose leaves the 4-7. Now he made a tactical change late in that last game, moving back to the right. He got some pretty good results with it at the end, but I'll be interested to see if he stays there, if he moves back to the 4th arrow. And what was that? Throws the big slow hook at the 4-7 instead of going hard and straight at it, like we've seen him do at most of his spares today, and that cost him an open frame. And as you can see, as is our custom, 9 in the first, added to his 5-pin handicap, 14. We'll add the handicap pins right away. Well, he slowed down his ball. He's going less direct. And now he's on the nose once again. Nearly had the 6, 7, 10. 7 went out. Just the 6, 10. And gets it. Well, Kayla started bowling at the age of 5, was in a league at the age of 6. Crosses over with that one, gets a strike, and that's a double to start. That'll get Austin's attention right away. Watch the Brooklyn hit. Left side of the head pin. And it will go all the way over and get the 7 with the ball. That's when you know you missed left. Well, a high hit leaves the 3. Here's a fun fact for you. If you think Kayla's footwork is unorthodox, the first ever PBA tournament back in 1959 was won by a right-hander who finished on his right foot. They called him Wrong Foot Lou Campy. Had a pretty good career. He started as a bocce player, and that's the way they bowl the bocce ball. Kayla took up the game of bowling, watching her father bowl. Just got into it watching her dad, and now she's hooked. Well, he's just back to sending that ball way wide again. This time it doesn't make it back. And he's left the nearly impossible 2-8-10. There's two schools of thought on this. If you really have to make it, you want to slide the 2 over into the wall to the right of the 10 and bounce it back so that it knocks the 10 into the 8. That's what he tries to do. The more prudent play when the game is not on the line at that moment is just take the count. Get the 2 pins, the 2 and the 8. Maybe you'll get lucky and something will bounce out. It almost never does, of course, but he's throwing pins away now. Trailing by 40 after just 3 frames. Austin's got to regroup. That tactical change he made at the end of the last game is not working out. Well, he went more direct that time, but he's still standing a little too far to the right. He threw that thing over close to the 4th arrow, but earlier he was standing a little left of there over the 4th arrow and then swung it out to about 10. That time he just went straight at it, and it's going to hook a little bit. Oh, my goodness. Well, he missed that by a foot and a half. Goodness gracious. Well, he's just digging a huge hole for himself, giving Kayla a free run at this. And she is only too happy to take advantage. Puts that one knee deep in the pocket. Watch it again. It's really a 3-step approach, but with a little extra one at the end. I wonder if she has a tendency to foul. I know she has a tendency to strike. Those are 2 good shots she just threw. Here's her footwork. Ball is gone on the 3rd step. I mean, I guess you could say she has a 4-step approach and her timing is really, really early. But it looks like a 3-step approach with a little something extra. Anyway, there's a solid 10 for Austin. Looked like a pretty good shot. He's made an adjustment. Let's take a look at his first ball in the 3rd and 5th frames. 3rd frame on your left. And you see that he's sliding on 24. On the right, he's sliding on 21. And look where the ball is. There's a huge difference where the ball is. And when he was playing the more direct line in the 5th frame, he's in the pocket. I think I'd stay there. Well, it's a spare, but he needs strikes to close this 63-pin gap. And he really hadn't been close in this match until that first ball in the 5th frame where he left the 10-pin. Well, we mentioned earlier the action to our left is Division 5. The action to our right is Division 4. And we'll update you on how their step ladders played out at the end of the show. There you go. That's where he was earlier. He's moved back there now. And Austin, I think I would stay there if I were you. See it again here. Over the 3rd arrow, but it only gets out to about 11 at the break point. That more direct route seems to be the formula on this pair of lanes. Kayla through the nose. Breaks up the split, leaves just the 6-10. But she's got pins to burn now with a 61 pin lead. Covers the spare. She says she has 10 pets. She didn't specify whether they're dogs or cats or parakeets or snakes, or I don't know. Another 6-10. When the ball starts creeping high like this, you got to move left with your feet. Maybe move your eyes left at the arrows as well. The idea is to stay just inside the oil line. Whoops. She chops the 6 off the 10, and Austin could use a little more help like that. All right, he's got a strike working. He can claw his way back into this match. Well, got lucky. Crosses over, gets a Brooklyn. Not the way he wanted to strike, but when you're this far behind, beggars can't be choosers. You see his right shoulder, it's outraced his left shoulder. Kind of hard to see at this angle, but you're going to miss left every time your bowling shoulder outraces your other shoulder to the foul line. There. That was a better shot. Didn't carry, but it was in the pocket. But he is running out of frames, trailing by 39. This is no time to be making mistakes. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you hate to see that. Somebody slips at the foul line or sticks. It's kind of out of their control at that point, and another open frame. And Kayla pretty much walked this one home. Boom. Another solid one for Kayla, and she can have one of her pets bowl the rest of the match, and I think she'll win it. Perfectly measured. Whatever adjustments she needed to make, she made it. She's moved a little left. She's in that area where Austin was playing his last match, and now he's abandoned. See, that's at about 12 with the arrows. Only gets out to about 11. That's the sweet spot. There you go. That's more like it. Just crept a little bit high. 4-pin. Kayla has won the match, so Austin can just take a few practice balls here. He's going to have a month between now and the February KCO to think about this. Try to figure out what he did wrong, and I think he can start by looking at how he started playing the lanes differently toward the end of his second match, and it carried over into match 3, and he was just lost. And this hooking at spares stuff, I think he might want to look at that too. I know it doesn't matter at this point with the match already banked by Kayla, but Even when the shots don't matter, I like to see these kids make their best effort. There you go. Shreds the rack with that one. Watch this one again. Over the third arrow, out to about 11. This is where he should have been all game. He was left of that in the last match. Oh, this is way wide. And predictably, it hooks left of the head pin. He's going to watch this and go, oh, I didn't see that when I was bowling. I get it. It's sometimes difficult when you're in the heat of the battle. A little easier when you're sitting back here watching it on replay. But a 151 is going to come up short for Austin, but he had a good run today. He won a couple of matches. He's going to finish third. Nothing to sneeze about there. Now Kayla will go through the motions of finishing out the match. She has business ahead as she will be bowling for the championship. Leaves the 10 pin, does not matter. She's going to finish with a 210. Thank you very much. And it's going to be the two girls bowling for the title, Kayla Hedges and Emily Wagner, when we return. Austin Wallace-Fish had a good thing going there for the first couple of matches, but a combination of poor strategic choices on how to play the lanes and poor execution opened the door for Kayla Hedges, and she was more than capable of kicking the door in and walking right through. But Austin showed some real moxie in his first couple of matches, and I know he'll be determined to get back. I imagine we'll be seeing him again. But now Kayla Hedges has punched her ticket for a date in the championship match, where she'll face our tournament leader, Emily Wagner. Emily and her father drove all the way across the state of Missouri from the St. Louis area here to the Kansas City area and Lawrence, Kansas, to participate in her first ever Kansas City Open. Nobody here really knew her, but boy did she make a splash. Her first 3 games in the KCO this morning were 279, 268, and 259 for an 806 in her opening block of qualifying. And though she cooled off a bit in her second block, it's safe to say she's found the conditions here at Royal Crest Lanes to her liking. You gotta figure she's the odds-on favorite coming into this match. But Kayla Hedges is lined up on the TV pair and looks relaxed and confident. So this could be another one of those matches that comes down to the very end. Oh, yikes. That ball looked pretty good, but it just jumped a little bit at the end, and now she's got the 4-9 split. It can be made. Put the ball on the left side of the 4-pin, slide it over into the 9. She can do this. But not on that side of the 4-pin. So an open frame, we add her 9 pins of handicap into her score in the very first frame, and Emily isn't getting pins, so Kayla has spent her handicap advantage in the first frame. These two girls actually pretty evenly matched. Their averages are pretty close. Kayla's high game, 275. Emily's high game, 279. Emily rips the rack to start. Wow. Both of them have won a tournament, although they're looking for their first KCO win. Emily in perfect balance at the line. Hits in the swish zone and wave goodbye to the 7-pin. Solid start. And that one got away from her a little bit. I don't know if she just didn't quite catch it with her fingers at the bottom of the swing. But it's the washout, the 1, 2, 4, 10. Send the head pin over into the 10. The ball will get the 2 and the 4. I'd say this is about a 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. Ooh, close. Just got a little too much of the head pin. So the lead passes back to Kayla. Oh my. Back-to-back splits to start, and this one is decidedly more difficult than the 4-9 that she left in the first frame. Not much you can do with the 4, 6, 7 other than just take the 2 on the left, hope something bounces out, take the count, which she does. But that's back-to-back opens to start and a 1-pin match. Kayla says she would like to go to college on a bowling scholarship. And I imagine she'll probably win enough scholarship money between now and her time to go to school that she might be able to pay for it that way, or at least part of it. But I imagine most college bowling programs would ask her to go to a more conventional style with her footwork and slide on her left foot. That will be a tough thing for her to change, I would guess. If she's been doing it this way for all of her bowling career. But you never know. Some coaches have a different philosophy. They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of my approach, although if it's something I think is holding a player back, I might try to persuade them to change. Boy, there's another solid shot by Emily. Just fractionally high in the pocket. She trips the 4 over into the 9. The 9 was already starting to fall, but she's got that ball behind her back a little more than I would like to see it. That is caused by a push away that goes out to the right, but at the bottom of the swing, she's in perfect position. Ball right below her head. She's in perfect balance. She has a nice steady head through release. One of the things I always look for. There's a lot to like about her game. Although that's 2 shots in a row on the left lane that has come up light. And now she's got the 2-4-5. Got to be careful with this. You don't chop the 2 off the 5. You want to put the ball right on the 2 and 5. Let the 2 take out the 4. Look out. Living dangerously. Boy, a ringing 10 for Kayla. She threw that one really well. The 6 goes whistling around the neck of the 10 pin. She hasn't had any trouble with spares today to speak of, other than those splits. Takes care of the 10 pin. But still looking for her first strike in this championship match. And here's what they're bowling for: the right to sign the coveted trophy pin. That and some scholarship money they win by winning the KCO. There's that strike that Kayla was looking for, and a good one. Over about 10 at the arrows, out to about 8. And that one was high flush, 10 back. And another shredder for Emily. I tell you what, if I had a favorite strike, it's this kind of strike. The one in the light half pocket that just sends the 5 pin and pretty much everything else over toward the 7. See you later, pins. Well, she's got the right lane wired. She needs to figure out this left lane. Oh! That looked awfully good. I don't know if she pulled it or if she changed her line, but that one obviously didn't get out as wide as some of the others that she's thrown on the left lane, but it just crowded the head pin enough that it chopped the 5 straight back off the 9 for what we like to call the Stone 9. But she makes short work of it. We are over halfway into this match and have yet to see a double. Kayla with a chance to get the first one of the match. And she throws a ripper. And there's that double. Watch this. We call it the swisher. She'll hit the half pocket and send that 5 pin over into the 7. We've seen that a couple of times already this match by Emily, and now Kayla has one. That wanted to be a swisher, but it just didn't drive through quite enough. And she tilts out the 5, but it doesn't quite have enough impetus to get over and get to the 7. So she's got a little work left. No problem with the 7 pin. And this match stays close. That double by Kayla swung the match just enough that now she has the lead. But it's been within 10 pins the whole way. And Emily loses the right lane. She had 3 of 3. Now she's 3 of 4 strikes on the right lane this match. In the pocket, but leaves the 10. And loses a pin in count in the process. She is obviously a very well-coached young bowler. Her one tournament victory, the Christmas Eve Kingpin Shootout. Not sure where that was. Perhaps somewhere in the St. Louis area where she lives. Emily says she wants to be a physical therapist when she grows up. Good for her. Her dad got her started bowling when she was young, and she fell in love with the sport. And I think the sport loves her, too. There's that straighter line on the left lane that players have found is pretty successful. Here's Emily's footwork, pretty much textbook. Look at how straight that slide foot is to the foul line. She just went straight up the boards with that one and banked that strike. Through the nose. And Kayla leaves a very tricky spare, the 3-9. We don't see this all that often. But you got to be careful. Right-handed player throwing a hook ball needs to hit right on the face of the 3 or a little to the right of center on it. You don't want to miss it on the left side because that will happen. You hit anywhere left of center on the 3-pin, you send it to the right of the 9. Those front and back pins on sleeper combinations like the 3-9 or the 2-8 or the 1-5, they're standing farther apart than it might appear from the foul line. Kayla recovers and comes right back with a strike. But she surrenders the lead to Emily. Once again, here's the footwork. I wouldn't recommend it. Never teach it. But she's been doing it that way for a while, and it works for her. And there's the double by Emily, and with that, she extends her lead to 15 pins. Watch it again. Boy, I love her balance at the line, man. That's as good as it gets. And now Emily has put herself in position where she can shut out Kayla and win this championship with a strike here in the 10th and good count. Uh-oh. She let that one get away to the right, and she must not have caught it all with her fingers because that ball was DOA when it hit the pins. The 4-5-7, the most difficult of all the baby split combinations. You got to put the ball between the 4 and the 5, but you have to favor the 4 slightly in order to get the 7. She's got to go all out and make this. Well, there's an open frame, and you never like to see opens, but especially in the 10th. Now this match is all even. Kayla with a spare strike finish would force a roll-off. A strike on the first ball in the 10th. Kayla can win. Crunch. And now she just needs good count to put this one away. Watch this one again. Hits about 12 at the arrows, about 12 at the break point. She just frozen roped it. And now she just needs 6 pins. And that is a winner. And Kayla Hedges has taken down Emily Wagner, who shot .806 this morning. Emily's going to have to settle for second place. I think you'd have to characterize this as a bit of an upset, but a win's a win. Chop, but it doesn't matter. That's a 189 to 182 victory for Kayla. Emily congratulates her, and Kayla Hedges has found her way to the winner's circle. We'll visit with her right after this. Wow, talk about a match that was nip and tuck the whole way. Only a handful of pins separated our two bowlers most of the way. And then just when it appeared that Emily was pulling away, up pops a split in the 10th frame, and then Kayla took advantage with a well-timed double at the finish line. I know Emily had to be disappointed with the way things ended, but when you start the day with an .806 first thing in the morning, it's hard to come away from the day anything but pleased with your performance. Not sure how often we'll see Emily here at the Kansas City Open, given that she lives clear on the other side of the state of Missouri, but I know if she were to return, she would undoubtedly be a force to be reckoned with. But on this day, it was Kayla Hedges who proved beyond any doubt at all that in bowling, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Despite her unorthodox style, she's the one who found her way to the winner's circle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kayla Hedges from Independence, Missouri. She has just come in and won the Kansas City Open in Division II today. How did you do it?
Luck.
Luck? I don't know about that. I think a little skill might have been involved. Well, so I just asked Kayla a minute ago if she'd ever heard of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, and she said no. So here's the deal. You're going to be on YouTube. Your win is going to sit there for all of eternity for people, bowling fans the world over, to enjoy. And because you won the KCO on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you get to sign the Coveted Trophy Pin. So if you'll put your name on it and date it, what is today? The 8/1/8/2023? And by winning today, that also means you're eligible to bowl in the season-ending Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions, where the winner will win the very pin you're signing with all the winners' signatures. So, how many KCOs have you bowled?
2 or 3, I think.
2 or 3. So, this is kind of new to you. This is your first time winning? Well, how does it feel to be a winner?
Feels really exciting. but a little nervous.
You're a little nervous? Maybe if this old guy with a camera would move it someplace else and not put it in your face, you'd be less nervous. You bowled great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. There's your winner.
As we mentioned during the show today, the action to our left was Division 5, and here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the 4 seed, Colton Van Gutten, defeated the 5 seed, Blake Marriott, 176 to 142. But then in the second match, Colton fell to the 3 seed, Julian Robinson, 200 to 165. Julian continued his winning ways, eking out a close one against the 2 seed, Kalen Melvin, 204 to 197. That set up the championship showdown with tournament leader Gage Patrick, and Julian Robinson completed his 3-game sweep, 165 to 144, to claim top honors in Division 5. And the action to our right today was Division 4. Here's how their stepladder unfolded. In the opening match, the 5 seed, Grace Coleman of the Bowling Coleman family, there's more Colemans than I can count that bowl the KCO, Grace defeated 4 seed, Allison Coons, 173 to 125. Then Damian Burns defeated Grace, 163 to 147. Damian kept his foot on the gas with a 203 to 195 victory over Maddox Denny. And then Damian knocked off the tournament leader, Cortland Worrell, 227 to 167. You met Cortland when he won the Division 5 stepladder the last time we were here at Royal Crest Lanes in November. We didn't cover his division, but he stuck around anyway and made himself available for a post-tournament interview just in case. And, well, we couldn't resist. So, congratulations to Damian Burns in Division 4 and Julian Robinson in Division 5. And of course, congratulations to Kayla Hedges on her win in Division 2. On the next edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you'll see the Division 1 stepladder finals from the 2023 January Points Tournament at the KCO. And we'll give you the results in Division 3 as well. Big thanks to my production assistant and good friend Adam Crouch, and of course to KCO Chairman Lee Miller for their invaluable assistance in putting together this telecast. As always, thanks to the entire board of directors of the Kansas City Open and to the staff at Royal Crest Lanes for their hospitality. Look for the next episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to drop in about 2 weeks, sometime around January 28th. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That's how we grow the channel. And share the video with your bowling friends and family on social media to help us spread the word about Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So, until next time, this is Coach Randy, wishing you lots of trip fours and light shakers, and hoping you stay warm. We'll talk to you again in about 2 weeks. Now, go get your bowl on.